The recent T-bill auction results shock everyone because it has dropped to a miserable amount of 3.65% per annum yield. That would also mean for every $10,000 that you have applied for the T-bill at 3.65% per annum, you will be getting 3.65% multiplied by $10,000 multiplied by 182 divided by 365, and that will get you $182 net. But aside from that, if you haven't seen my previous video, I talk about why I stopped buying T-bills in early part of December last year. But before that, if you want to know of the latest deals in town, the best cashback rates, the best interest accounts, then do follow us on Honey Money SG public Telegram, because the best experts are out there and they will help you in the best way they can at Honey Money SG Telegram. So why did I actually stop buying T-bills since early December? Back then, the reasons were rather simple. If you look at during the December period, you have high interest bank accounts like UOB One and OCBC 360 already offering you almost 5% per annum of effective interest rate. And back then, the T-bill yields are around 4%, slightly higher than 4% at max. At the peak, it was at 4.4%. But that is still a far cry from that 5% effective interest rate from UOB One. Now, I am speaking from the assumption that you have $100,000 of cash saved up, because that is the way that you can get the effective interest of 5% with UOB One. And that is when you fulfill the salary credit criteria plus a $500 spending on the eligible credit cards. But what if you have less than $100,000? Or you have excess flow after the $100,000 in UOB One? Then you will have this amount. Where is the best place to put it? And it's definitely in the next best alternative, which is HSBC Everyday Global Account. Because in their recent interest promotion, HSBC EGA is offering 4.55% per annum for a 4-month period. If you open an account from March, that will give you 4.55% per annum from March, April, May to June. And you must register for that promotion. So if you haven't got a HSBC Everyday Global Account or EGA yet, then do sign up with my referral link down below, because that is one of the best alternatives after RHB has lost their high yield savings account. Now, some of you may laugh at 4.55% for HSBC EGA or even 5% per annum for UOB One, because you all think you all are investment experts, right? You all can generate 20% per annum return. So if you want to do that, of course, I have the option as well, and that's the message from the sponsor. I think this company throw away free money until ki siao already. But just in case you haven't heard about this crazy company called Weibo, they are giving you up to $500 for depositing any amount into the trading account. Yes, any amount, even $1 will do. There is no need to do any buy trades, no need to subscribe to any funds. And I'm not joking, because you can see from my community Telegram members that have gotten their Apple or Tesla shares. And if you're even luckier, you can get like Amazon or Google shares worth up to $100 per spin. So 5 spins will net you up to $500. And what are you waiting for? Durian to drop, is it? Now the durian has already dropped. So if you want to pick up the durian, go and sign up for an account using my referral link down below, or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo account today. Now, let's say if you're really a baller, okay, you have at least $200,000 of cash, then where is the best place to park it? It is definitely in the Standard Chartered Bank Wealth Saver. Because if you have $200,000, you could qualify for their priority banking relationship, and hence you can open a Wealth Saver account. And for your first 6 months, if you deposited at least $200,000 cash, you can get 5% per annum for the first 6 months. That's like equivalent to your T-bills, you know, for 6 months. But you see, 5% is so much better than that 3.65% pathetic yield. Now, if you have discrimination against foreign banks in Singapore, then you can also look at OCBC Premier, which requires at least $200,000, because you will get 4.4% per annum if you sign up for their Premier Dividend Plus account, and it is a fresh fund of at least $200,000. For your first 3 months, you get 4.4%. But if you want to sign up for the Premier account using my referral, then you have to make sure you deposit at least $350,000 to get the referral reward. So you see, your high interest savings account or your high yield savings account are already offering you above 4%. Then what's the point of using cash to apply for T-bills? And I'm not done yet, you know, because that's just high interest savings account. How about the fixed deposits then? I know the trend of fixed deposit interest rates have been trending down, especially since RHB has dropped their 4.1% and subsequently HSBC has all removed their 4%. But there's still one bank standing right now, and it's Hong Leong Bank, because they are offering 4% per annum on their 6 months to 12 months fixed deposits if you deposit a minimum of $100,000. Now, if you're a real baller, you can even put in $500,000 and you get 4.1% per annum. But assuming if you just have $100,000 for a fixed deposit, then the total interest you'll get is just 4% multiplied by $100,000, which is $4,000 interest over 12 months. And if you want to calculate the interest per month, you will take 4,000 divided by 12 and you will get $333 IPM. Now, the other reason I stopped using cash to buy T-bills is because of the liquidity of funds. Like I mentioned in early December, I'm afraid that the Fed will pivot really soon. But now we are coming to the end of March, and I don't think we are going to pivot anytime soon, even when some of the big banks in US are crashing down, but they are expecting a government bailout. So you see, by the time the Fed really pivots, there will be a lot of cash injection from the sidelines, all from these people taking out their money from banks, fixed deposits, T-bills, whatnot, all pumping money into the stock market. And I will be one of them, because my cash is really liquid. It is not locked up in T-bills. It is not locked up in any fixed deposit. It is just sitting on the sidelines in the high interest savings account like UOB One. So if you really want the best liquidity for your funds, I don't think T-bill is the best place to park it in, especially when the yield right now is so low at 3.65%. But that doesn't mean T-bill is bad for everyone, because everyone has their own preferences. I'm just saying that T-bill is not suitable for me, but it may be suitable for you. That is why I always say this is not financial advice. This is what I'm sharing based on my own perspective and opinion of my own situation. Now, are there any conditions that T-bill is really good and I will buy it? Yes, there is. I think for T-bills, it is still really good to apply if you are funding it with SRS or your CPF OA, because for SRS, you really have to go and invest and use it. Otherwise, it will just sit in the SRS bank account like doing nothing, earning near to zero interest. At least you put it in T-bill, it can earn you 3.65% per annum, and it can be done online. You can apply for T-bill online and fund it with your SRS funds. Don't need to go to the bank branch and queue up like the others. Now, the other case for buying T-bill is if you're funding it with CPF OA, because you know your CPF OA is just earning 2.5% per annum. So if you want to bump up the interest, you want to supercharge that interest, then you can at least supercharge it to 3.65% per annum based on the last auction result. And you know now the recent news, DBS has already allowed you to apply for T-bill using CPF OA via their online banking. And OCBC and UOB Bank is expected to follow suit by the end of next month, if you have heard of this news. So every local bank in Singapore is jumping on the T-bill bandwagon as well. You are expected not to queue at the bank branch anymore, and I think that's good news for everyone who is trying to apply for T-bills. And the reason why use SRS or CPF OA instead of cash to apply for T-bill is because there are no better alternatives. If you look at SRS or CPF OA, they do not have access to high interest savings account. They do not have access to high interest fixed deposits. So if you want a relatively lower risk passive income kind of thing, I think T-bills is one of the best options that you could do that. Otherwise, you have to look at short-term endowment funds for SRS, where you can still get like 1 year yield of 4%. But that is not available for CPF OA funding as well, because CPF is a very controlled fund secured by the government. So if you really want to know what is the best use case for CPF OA, if you do not want to use it to buy T-bill, then I'll refer you to my previous video right here, because I'll explore how you can supercharge your CPF OA into better uses.